You're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. VoiceLab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside VoiceLab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. VoiceLab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the VoiceLab. Scan the QR code, join VoiceLab Group on the school platform, and build the business that actually works.
All right, all right. Are you building a business that actually works? What is that about? Good morning and welcome back to another great and wonderful episode of the Voice Lab. It looks like we are going through okay at this time, and my screen wants to just continue to share. Who knows? It's going to do its own thing. The robots are taking over. I don't know about you, but hey, they're they're doing their thing. I wish they would just send me a memo in the morning of what they're going to do or not do, so I can either choose to participate or say, hey, no way, I'm going to take over. How are you guys doing today? It's another lovely little Thursday. I am Nicole Borghi, your stage, your visibility leader. I'm an event to scale visibility leader. What does that mean? It's done for you, done with you. Summits, podcasts, and workshops, because the trine shares together. You've got to do everything to get out there, to get out there in the world. It's easy. You can do it. We're glad you're here. We're loving the share today, loving the energy. It's beautiful. It's sunny outside. I don't know where you guys are at, but hey, man, this is the way to be, the place to be, in the Voice Lab. And just here today, I'm going to get my documents up and I'm going to throw the mic to you, Colleen.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I'm Colleen Stubbs. I am the founder of Simplified CEO Systems, and in collaboration with Nicole Borghi, I help you take the leads that she helps you to get, and I help you learn what to do with them, how to utilize those leads so that you can literally not miss any opportunity to grow and scale your business, right? I teach you how to take those leads and plug them into your back office, get them into the correct automations and the correct workflows so that you are nurturing those connections, so that you're actually building real relationships that are authentic, that move the needle in your business. So I'm Colleen Stubbs, the founder of Simplified CEO Systems. I also am the founder of Simplified Go High Level Mastermind. And what is that? Well, it's a mastermind that I created that I bring people into, and I teach you how to simplify and utilize Go High Level. So many people out there are given Go High Level. Like, sign up for our course, we'll give you Go High Level. Well, giving somebody a tool without the means to utilize the tool doesn't work. That's where I step in. You can join my mastermind. Right now, we are doing it is $99 a month or $1,000 a year. And that price is going to go up in July. But that is just the founding member price. That is on School Group. And I will drop the link here in this podcast so that you can join that. Once you step inside, you have Loom videos, short Loom videos, generally 3 to 20 minutes, that show you how to do tasks from start to end inside Go High Level. You can pause those videos, implement what you've learned, and then turn it on again and get to the next step. Also, with each Loom video, you get a SOP. What is an SOP? It's a standard operating procedure. It is printable PDF that you can, like a checklist, you can have right there to go through the steps to do the things you need to do inside Go High Level. Because the truth is, if it's simple, it is still scalable. And so you want to really simplify your Go High Level so that you're gaining clarity and showing up confidently. Inside Go High Level, we're also doing live classes twice a month, the second Tuesday and the fourth Thursday. And then I'm also in there just for office hours to help you Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 10:15 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I will drop that information in the chat. Today, though, here on this episode of Voice Lab, we are going to talk about moving from speaker to authority leader. What does that mean, Nicole? What are we doing with that?
So when you're going really from speaker to authority leader, it's like, hey, what are you doing? And that's part of even what you do. You're building authority by reaching out. You're building authority by engaging. You're building authority by showing up, right? Where are you showing up? What are the touch points? How many times are you reaching out to people? Don't send, it's not saying, hey, send silly emails out just to send silly emails out that go nowhere, that don't have your branding, that don't have any meaning to them, that don't give any tips. You want to give some tips, some tricks, tell people where you're at, you're meeting them. That's great for your newsletter. You want to send that out. You want to do that on social media. But that is just the engagement until you're on that next stage. And you want people to know that there's some nuggets out there, not just, hey, I'm on the next stage. What am I doing? Where am I going? Where am I showing up at? And why aren't people showing up? Why aren't people engaging? Are you giving people enough? Are you giving them some takeaways, right? So if you're stage curious, come into the Voice Lab and say, hey, I have something I want to share out there. I want to get on the stage. I have teaching, I have training. And just like what Colleen's talking about, she does Go High Level. What's your expertise? What's your mastery? What do you share? For me, I'm always talking about building authority through marketing. Same thing. Those big brands did it, but we have to do it on a scalable, smaller level. How do you do that? You show up in networking. You show up on podcasts. You show up on stages and you support other people. They see you, they know you, you're establishing yourself as that authority. People feel good to see you. They welcome you. The stage hosts are welcoming you because they know you're going to show up. They know you're going to shout them out. They know you're going to share them everywhere. That's part of the marketing, right? It's very, very important. And we've got something called authority code coming in here. It's influence, right? It's leadership. What are we doing? How are we doing it? How are we reaching out to people? That's what it's all about. It's really how leaders influence. It's everything that I talk about simply on a soul-led level and at a leadership in your business level. Are you building your business? Are you leading from within so you can lead from without, and that people feel that energy, they feel that vibe, they know that you're true, you're through and through, that it's you everywhere and anywhere that you go. How are you showing up? That's what this is about. That first day of Authority Code is a speaker panel. It's live. You're going to hear the speakers, you get to get the Q&A. The audience gets to participate. Whether you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Rumble, you're watching on any other stations that we're collaborating with our collaborative partners out there, are you watching on LinkedIn? You get to comment, you get to be out there, you get to be the presence, you get to be part of it. It's a time to turn your camera off and say hello. Be in the room so you can participate. Hey, maybe you're doing something else and you've got that camera on and you're still participating. Maybe you need to send a few texts out. You want to listen to that speaker in the background and go, hey, I want to participate. I've got something. I belong here. And that's what this is all about. How are you building the community? How are you influencing others? So I'll put that in there. It's really for Authority Code, and that's this next week. It starts on the 19th. 12 o'clock Eastern, so that's 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So whatever coast you're on, whatever global event, whatever side of the globe you're on, right? Are you globe trotting on your Zoom? What are you doing? Come in, participate, be part of it. That speaker panel on the first day is going to give you a few nuggets of what each presenter is going to talk about. They want to get to know you. They want to be part of it. They want you to grow personally, spark a little transformation maybe, but we can't make you do that. You've got to show up. You've got to feel it. You've got to take that first step. So if you're taking initiative, you did something by showing up that day, right? You accomplished something, right? I think it's really about that accomplishment and sharing those great voices and how you do it on the front end and definitely the back end, right, Colleen?
Absolutely. And I want to say, Nicole, that, we talk a lot about showing up, showing up, showing up. What's the go-to for that? Why are we so concerned with showing up? Well, you know what? You are a host, and when you're looking at speakers, if you have a list of speakers and you're trying to choose a speaker, and the speakers are going, please, I hope she chooses me. I want to be on that stage, blah, blah, blah. But there's a shift that happens when you go from trying to be chosen to be the choice. When Nicole looks at those list of speakers and she goes, I'm taking Colleen. She's my first choice because she shows up. She is there. She is always there. As a matter of fact, that girl is everywhere. I see her everywhere. I know
Yep.
she's going to be there. Not only is she going to be on time, she's going to contribute. She's going to support the other speakers. She is going to share and promote in a way that is authentic to her. And she's really going to bring this together for me. She becomes a collaboration partner as the choice instead of choosing from a list of speakers and trying to be the one that maybe you choose me. You need to just show up, continually show up in all the places, share your message authentically, and really support people in doing this. That is the goal here. That's what we want you to do. And once you learn to do that, that's the move that takes you from stop trying to be chosen to becoming the choice, which is what we want. We all want that.
Right. We all want you to be the choice, but if you don't just show up. Don't just raise your hand. Participate. You don't need to take over the entire room. You don't need to be the diva, right? I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Once you get chosen, then reach out your hand and pay it forward. Who are you sharing next? Yes, take your accolades. Yes, rock on. Yes, totally. Hey, I did a thing. It's just so cool. Celebrate yourself, celebrate the stage host. And then again, what are you doing to support that stage host? Are you supporting the other speakers in the room? What are you doing that makes you a little bit different? Are you doing this all the time? And yes, let's get into it even a little bit deeper. Let's dig a little deeper. Why? Because people show up, they shout out, and then the next event happens, they don't want to support. They don't want to email. They don't want to share. Oh, everybody else is going to share. Everybody else is going to share. How are you growing your list? How are you as a stage host growing your list? Honestly, ask yourself as a stage host if you're giving everything away for free and nobody's participating. That's right, speakers, because we got an event next week. So note to self, you're going to get an email from me today saying, hey, reach out. You've got to do that. You've got to reach out. You've got to tell your speakers. It's kind of like herd cats sometimes, right? You know, those wet cats, you got a broom, you're trying to get them all out of the house or the kids or whatever that animal is, that critter is that you're chasing out. You want to say, hey, it's time to participate. That way, hey, I know Colleen's not only going to show up, she's going to talk about it. She's going to support the event and she's going to send out her emails. Very important.
I just have to say to Mrs. Rhodes, and with all due respects, Miss Rhodes, my kindergarten teacher who sent home the report card, with the little smiley stamp on it, said, nice girl, but my, she's chatty. You're welcome. That has served me well to be so chatty. But yes, and Nicole, this brings me back to something that you and I have talked about on many occasions. What is the greatest thing you can do when you're successful? You can help others succeed. The quote, a rising tide lifts all boats. That's what we're there for. When you're on stage and it's a shared stage like that, I'm not talking about just the panel section, but when you are in a summit, when you are a speaker at an event, when you are on a podcast, your job is to make everybody else around you look really good. And when you do that, oh my goodness, you look really good. It just kind of goes. You bring everybody up. The event gets more publicity. You get more eyes on your content as well as other people's. And you need to make sure that you stay and that you are chatty. Use that gift of gab. And if you don't have it, go practice it and get it. and just get in the chat, build relationships, support the other speakers in the chat. If you have experienced what they are talking about or their program, their product, then share your experience in the chat. And if you haven't, then I would challenge you that when you get off of that summit, go back through your VIP gifts and take advantage of those so that you go in better educated. Next time you're in a room with those speakers, you're able to support them as a collaboration effort. You're able to say, yes, Twana Lowry is an amazing speaking coach. Yes, Nicole Borgi is an amazing summit host. This has been my experience with her. And just share that in places. You know, people value when they hear from other people in their voice the testimonials as opposed to just reading them.
Yes.
Look at something with
Lowry is
5
an
stars
amazing speaking coach.
and it has 5
Yes.
gold stars.
Nicole Borgi.
That's not as impressive as having Colleen come forward and say, this has been my experience. Something in what I say may resonate better with one member in the audience. And that's all you need. If every time, so for me, I'm getting on stages twice a week this year. And if every time I do that, I help another entrepreneur move the needle in their business, what an impact I've made. Then I've gone from trying to be chosen to becoming the choice. Do you see the difference? There's a big difference there. And that's really what we're working towards. Now, you can, if you need some practice, we're going to encourage you to please step inside Voice Lab, our school community, where you can bring your masterclass. Maybe you're brilliant at what you do. You've done it over and over and over, and you're really confident in that. Maybe not so confident in the presentation of it to a public audience. Bring it inside Voice Lab, and let's have you hold a masterclass there. Hold that, have people come out, get the feedback. Share your brilliance in a safe zone like that and get that under your belt so that you're ready to get on the big stage. So you're ready to get on a summit so that you're ready to go to a live event and speak. But get some of this under your belt. And then also while you're in there, take advantage of all the other master classes in there and go support those speakers in what they're doing.
Well, 100%. You want to make sure that you're supporting everybody. And inside the Voice Lab, this is why we bring the podcast to you. It's not just tips and tricks. It's not just, hey, here's some rookie mistakes. Here's some professional mistakes. Here's something I see that doesn't necessarily convert when I'm in a mastermind with other stage hosts and saying, hey, you know, what are we doing together? We're going to bring that up. And in Voice Lab, you guys will see in the next few weeks, not only Frank King in there, who is a TEDx coach that's bringing a masterclass, Glenn Freeman that's bringing this amazing speaker digital app. If you want to get paid to play, you want to get paid. That's what we're bringing in as a demo. That's going to be listed this weekend. So if you're in Voice Lab, you know, note to self, start to check it out. If you're not in Voice Lab, go in there, stage curious right now before we change those the membership price. Right now it's at $11 a month. It's a steal. It's really a steal because we're building and really crafting this group to really say how in an artisan fashion can we bring a uniqueness back and not just a one and done masterclass, not just people who are going to not be there tomorrow. These are people that we're bringing to the stage that show up, they shout out every time, and they will be there tomorrow. They have a track record, right? If you don't have a track record, that's fine. Why do you come into Voice Lab? Because we're going to simplify your life. We're going to make your life so easy that you're going to enjoy. Like this morning, oh my God, I got on a swing. There is a swing outdoors that I got on, just sipping my coffee, and I'm just kicking back, listening to the birds, and the barn swallows are gone. So the babies have left the nest. I'm an empty nester. This morning, I'm like, man, I was going to watch them. You could do that if you work for yourself. How do you feel? I just walk out the door, get some sunshine. That's what we want to simplify your life so you can enjoy your life. Definitely enjoy it. But inside the Voice Lab, what's going to happen? You're going to have some Solutions Lab in there. You're going to be able to show up, shout out, get connected to a group of people weekly. Why? Because you want to know them. You're going to feel comfortable with them on the stage. They are going to be your best friend. They are going to be your best business partner. They are going to be collaborators. It is trust. So that's going to start to open. There's more workshops coming up. How do you build a stage? What are 5 mistakes that people do with leads, right? How do you bring leads in? A stage is a great way to do it. Shouting out in these rooms is a great way to do it. Don't just share your PDF on a stage, share a workshop. People want to know, and I just had this conversation with a few speakers this week and talking to them that, hey, yes, the research, the data shows, and Nicole says, I'm tired of your PDF. I love you. I love that you put it together. I love to read. Yes. And my eyes are working and they're not allergy eyes. When I'm reading something, I want to read something wonderful and I want to share it and shout it out from the top of the world. But research shows that people connected to you. So can you imagine coming in for the 19th at 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? You're coming into Authority Code. You're getting to know the speakers. You're reaching out in the chat. You're supporting them. And you're getting to ask your questions, right? It's not a zinger. It's not tough stuff. It's stuff that we want to talk about that not everybody brings to the table. Not everybody brings forward some how-to, some great takeaways. Get to know the speakers. Then you come back the next day, you're listening to these fantastical speakers, and then you get their PDF. Oh, what a boring Christmas gift that is. Don't you want the thing with the batteries, right? You want to go to their workshop and engage. Like yesterday, Colleen, your workshop, set it and serve them. You had your workshop yesterday. People got to ask questions. Shout out to Lisa Murphy for getting in there and saying, hey, I got a question. How do I do this thing? I want to interact with you. I want to see something. So what does Colleen do? She shares her screen. She stops everything else and she answers the question. That's what you want. That's the magic, right? People want a taste of you. They want a sample.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say too, shout out to David Klein, right? He showed up, didn't know what he was getting himself into, and he sat through and listened and asked questions and then got on appointments with me. And I will say too that, getting out there, getting seen and heard is so foundational and so absolutely necessary in building a business. I'm going to say this again and again because I got on a call with somebody a week ago and they said, look, I'm posting and I'm not getting any engagement. It's just my friends that are signing up to go to my events. And I said, oh, okay, how often are you posting? Oh, once or twice a week. And I'm like, okay. And who are you reaching out to and inviting to your events? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, no, you have to get in the DMs and talk to people and build relationships. Everybody you've talked to, you should be inviting to your things if your event matches what they're looking for. So go back and think about these people and invite them. I never thought of doing that. Look, you've got to show up. This is your business. And at the end of the day, nobody cares if it succeeds. It's up to you. If this is important to you that your business is successful, then you better get off your ass and make it happen because nobody else cares. And so you got to get up and do the uncomfortable things because, the truth of it is growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. You can stay in the same networking groups. You can sit there and show up for years and years and years, or you can decide that I've already talked to all the people in here and I'm growing in a different way. And you can step into a room that's totally uncomfortable and stay there for 6 months until you're comfortable. And then another 6 months while you're building those relationships and then level it up again, right? And that's how you grow your business. Keep showing up. And I don't mean once or twice a week, because if you see someone, because people aren't going to see your stuff. If it's, Nicole, what do you think? If you post once or twice a week, how often do people see it? Like once or twice a month, maybe?
Right. So if you're totally like algorithm generated and you're on, let's just say LinkedIn, right? And
Uh-huh.
you're totally just like, looking at looking at people's stuff and whatever the system sends you, unless you're in like a posting party or something, and you're like, hey, I see that stuff. You might see one or two people's things, and then you're looking at something else, you're doing another thing. That's a couple times a week. Are they engaging, right? And
Yeah.
that's the other thing. If you want people to show up to your event, you better engage, better engage. Okay, where's the camera? I forgot where the camera was. I'm looking at 100 screens. You better engage with people, right? Yeah, I'm human. That's how you know I'm not AI. I'm doing silly things, right? You better engage with people. You need to talk to them. You're so right. You're only going to see a couple of posts a week. and then they're going to drop off. So you want people to show up, you got to show up to their stuff and support them. And then you got to let people know. So if you're the best kept secret and you're like, hey, I got a Facebook page and it's a special group and I've got 5 special people in that group. And the 5 special people I don't really know, I don't really network, and I never really engage with. How come nobody's engaging with me?
Yeah,
Let's break
absolutely.
that down, right?
Yeah, and it's like, if there's somebody in your real life that maybe you go to a church function and somebody introduces you to somebody, and then a month later you see the person you've been introduced to in the grocery store, you're like, oh yeah, there's Mary. But if you saw her every day, and if she stopped by your house when she was walking her dog, and was like, hey, your flowers look lovely, whatever that is, if she waved when she saw you driving down the street, suddenly she becomes familiar. She feels good to you, right? And so then you're more apt to reach out to them. And that's how that works. On the internet, it's the same thing. Your stuff has to go out all the time. You need to repeat yourself until you are sick of hearing about yourself and hearing about your stuff. Just keep sharing it, sharing it, sharing it so that people get the opportunity to see it and then reach out and support the people that you want in your world, right? It's so important. And these are just tips and tricks that you can do to really build relationships, because businesses aren't succeeding if they're not making authentic connections. Unless you're buying a dustpan, and even then, you have a choice of where you're going to do that. Why do you choose where you go? Because you have some sort of relationship, even if it's just mentally, like maybe you hate Walmart, so you're going to the dollar store, right? But there's a choice. People have choices when they're interacting with you, and you want to make sure that you go from trying to be chosen to becoming the choice. That is
Yeah.
huge. Now, when you get on Nicole's summit as a speaker, I will say that I love the panel that she holds at the beginning of each of her summits. Really, it gives me the opportunity to get to know the people I'm collaborating with, all of the other speakers, a little bit better, and to touch bases with them if I haven't spoken to them in a while, but also refreshes in my mind what they're sharing so that I can be supportive in the best way possible. And then, of course, as an audience member, if you show up to learn and grow from this summit, then as an audience member, relax. Nicole always does one thing. You can count on this every single time, and that is that she involves you. She will give you the opportunity to speak up, to ask your questions, and to connect with the speakers, and that's huge. So all of these connections, let's compare those to posting every day on social media. When you're posting on social media, if people pause, if what you post catch their eye, then they'll pause. Maybe they'll look at your graphic. Maybe they'll read your caption. Maybe they'll interact, like it. Maybe they'll comment, right? But when you do it so people can hear you, they can see your face. They can see the way that you move and use your fingers or whatever weird thing you do. Um, then you have all of those touch points in one little thing right there with people who chose to be there to listen to you. So the impact is so much greater, right? And this is how you go from being just a speaker to being a leader, an authority leader. Keep showing up. I did have somebody tell me one time, well, I have shown up for 3 weeks and not a zilch. So this isn't working. And I'm like, 3 weeks? Huh. Well, boy, you're just knocking it out of the park. Yeah, you got to be, minimum before you expect to see any kind of traction or interaction, I would say is a month to 6 weeks. You just have to be consistent. And so getting on stages is a great way to escalate that, to get through that quicker, right?
Yeah, show up, shout out the other people. You don't have to be the best friend in the room. Oh my God, you're amazing. You run in a room and there's a lot of people that do this. They're the diva. They start throwing stuff around and it's great. They support, but they support. Oh my God, you're the best. Oh my God, you're so sparkly. Oh my God, oh my God. It's kind of like a stalker sometimes. It's like, whoa, I don't, hey, thanks. I think I don't really know you. What are you really saying, and how much does it really affect the leader? I love the support, but let's look at it. Is that person going to be there tomorrow? Is that person going to be there 6 months down the road? So think about that. It's great to have the support. Everybody loves it. I don't want to take away from it, But I do want to say, if you're only showing up for a week, you're only showing up for 3 weeks, where are you going to be tomorrow?
Yeah.
There are many people that I have collaborated with that ask to affiliate something and work with me and be part of projects and are so into it, they're motivated, they're ready to go, and then they don't show up tomorrow.
Yep.
They don't ask the questions. They don't even get on a call with me. Oh yeah, well, it's yeah, and I had a glass of ice cream, or they're having a conversation that has nothing to do with getting to know about you and your business. So let's get back to that. Let's get on those calls where those calls are structured and there's connection, and then you can connect personally. It's a little bit backwards. We have to remember that. I'm not talking to somebody at Walmart about the flower I'm choosing, right? I'm not talking about to the associate at Walmart about the clip in her hair and, hey, did you get it here so I can find it on that aisle, which is great customer service, by the way. What I am doing is getting to know you on Zoom. So let's remember that there is a few degrees of separation there. And then, hey, I want to know you tomorrow. Are you going to be here tomorrow? What do you do in your business that aligns? And that's why the great thing about summits are you have aligned speakers. And we have some wonderful people from the Voice Lab. Hey guys, I really want to say shout out to these speakers because they're part of the Voice Lab. They connect, they collaborate, they chat, they get in there, they reach out, they leave comments. And so they got chosen to be on the stage. They won the chance to be on the stage. You can do that in there. There's value in there for that. But don't just respond to something you think, hey, I want to be on the stage. That means that, hey, you got to be on the stage. That means that the next post that comes out a day or two later that says, hey, congratulations to those speakers, you might want to react to. Because then you did just the thing I asked you not to do, the one thing. You didn't support even yourself. And nobody cares, like you were saying before, about you as much as you do, and you should. You should absolutely be soul-led, go within, serve yourself, put that mask on first, on the airplane, get that oxygen so you could save other people. Because then how many other people have to save you? It's just like a firefighter. If you're running into a burning building and you're a first responder, you don't have all your gear in, and you just run in there because some lady down the street said her dog's still in there, and the dog probably ran out the back door. That person runs in there as the first responder. It takes 2 to 5 people to rescue that person. Now the second person ran in there. So who is rescuing you? So be top of mind, take care of yourself, and make sure that what you're doing that you think is supportive is actually truly supporting the group, the people, the panel, and the speakers. Or are you hindering? Are you being the bottleneck? Are you causing the accident? Are you the looky-loo watching the accident from the side, crashing your car, so now there's a secondary accident? So if you look at it that way, what are you doing to show up? Are you truly just running in the door and like, hey, it's me, right? Like that 10-year-old girl in her new Easter dress, and she's running in the room telling everybody everything, but she's flailing her arms around. What is going on? What are we doing? So let's look at it this way. Just break it down, totally be supportive, be thoughtful, share with people, support people, and don't just show up for your spot. It's really how are you being picked? And then we're going to get into more about paid stages.
Yeah.
If you want to be a paid speaker, you have to do the work. You cannot run on free stages, refuse to pay for a podcast, refuse to pay to be in a group, refuse any coaching. That's anywhere, not just our groups. And then say, hey, I want to show up and be a paid speaker. What value did you bring? And I think that really reflects totally on your business too, right, Colleen?
That is so funny because that is the biggest door slammer, in my opinion, is when I'm talking to somebody about speaking and they're like, oh, you're going to have to pay me so much. Before I even know what they're about, it's like, okay, well, have a good day. Because I would far more rather get to know you as a person and your business, right? And so another way to look at speaking when you're on stage, I want to make sure that everybody understands what Nicole's saying. Like, do not open your mouth and let fluff come out. We have a limited amount of time that we have the audience's attention. In that time, you have got to be strategically intentional with what you are saying to support other
Biggest door
speakers.
slammer?
Absolutely, in supporting other speakers, but also when you're delivering your message, of course. But the same energy and intentionality that you put into delivering your message, where you have bullet points, and there are 5 points, according to Kimberly Crow from Speakers Playhouse, and she's done a lot of events. But your presentation should have 5 points, right? Your intro, your three main points, and your
I want to stop you there. I would say if you're learning, start with 3.
That's good because less to remember. But when you're giving your recommendations, your testimonials, when you're talking about other people, let's say what they do, something that is pertinent to them. If somebody comes on and says, "Oh my gosh, Nicole, she's such a nice girl. Did you see her hair? It's so cute today." Who gives a shit? Did I say that?
Nobody does.
Did I
Nobody
say that?
does. And it
Nobody
does it make you feel good from somebody you don't know?
But you know what? If you say to me, you know what? I held the most powerful summit. And when I did
Yes.
that, Nicole was the host. And the thing that I loved the most about it is that I didn't worry. Girl, I just showed up when she told me to. I had my
Mhm.
presentation. She had speakers lined out. It was the best spent money. And on top of that, she showed me how to monetize it so that I ended up making more money than I paid her to host it.
100%.
That is so much more profound than what you're wearing, how you look like, or saying, well, I saw her this or that. Let's give information. Be strategically intentional with the message you are delivering about the other speakers, about the people you collaborate with. Say where you met them, why you love them, what they do that just makes them stand out in your mind, and how great that experience was. And
Well,
then
100%. It's you always look at those comments like it is a testimony. It's professional and you're edifying them. So what type of comments would you leave in the chat that has to do with the relevancy of the speaker? And if the speaker, if you do that, like, hey, nice hair, nice whatever, I let nice lip gloss, that's a private chat for somebody that you know. That's
yeah.
a private chat. You are distracting the speaker and you're making the speaker truly feel not relevant, that their message is not going out, and now you've taken away. And what happens in the audience, truly, they go off camera, they get out of the room, they just walk away, they just leave because they're on Zoom and they can exit quietly. You have absolutely distracted everybody because you feel like you need it more attention. Like, how great am I? How great am I to say these wonderful things? And are they truly from the heart?
Absolutely. And I think that that's just another part of this. There's so many things that go into speaking, presenting yourself. And really, Nicole, what our goal is for 2026 is to help other entrepreneurs get seen and get heard and grow their business through visibility, right? And so all of these things correlate with that and support that. But I would absolutely say that the mission here today is to teach you some things that you can utilize so that you go from being the person who's hoping they get chosen to being the choice. And I'm not saying that they have to be like, oh, I want to go get this person to speak for me. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when they see your name, they're like, yes, I know that person. Yes, that is who I want to represent me. Yes, I want them on my stage because they show up repeatedly. Yes, I want them as a collaboration partner. All of those things. And that happens through your consistently showing up and strategically delivering your message in a professional way and supporting the people around you. Because when you look, we're not in high school. We don't want the girl with the best hair anymore. We just don't. We want the
No,
one that loves everybody and brings everybody in and brings them together and supports them. And so these are the things that you need to be doing to move into that authority leader position.
100%. And I want to go back to the 3 things and 5 things. Let's concentrate on that. I just want to circle back. How do
Yes.
you develop it? Does go back to authority building. The reason that if you have a 15 to 30-minute speech, why three things? Because people will stay and follow you. If you're under an hour, you want to make sure those three things, and then each three things can have a category. You want to seed those three things after your hook, in your call to action, because you're giving people value. What's in it for them? Why do they need to listen? And what can they concentrate? Remember, we're on Zoom. So if people are working on another screen, maybe they're answering some business calls, maybe their dog just ran in, you're going to concentrate and reiterate those three things. If you start going off the rails into more things, people can't follow, because those three things and like, hey, I can't fill 15 minutes. Well, you know what? You can, with those subtext, with those little bullet points under the three things, and those three things should actually work together. So
So
let's remember.
I'm going to stop you and interrupt you there because I don't want you to get ahead of the audience and you're getting a little bit ahead of me. Tell me what those three things would be specifically. Like, not, don't tell me what they are, but tell me, like I said, an intro, three bullet points and a CTA. So how does that sit with the three?
So, okay, we're talking about let's go back to authority code, right? So if you go back to authority code and we're looking at that, what are you going to get out of authority code? So let's say my talk, and I'll just use the title of authority code, how the subtitle, the talk title is authority code. The subtitle is how leaders influence. I want an intro. That intro should have a hook, just like your social media post. And then you get into your intro. You want to ask a question like, hey, if there were a way that you could absolutely build authority and influence your audience at the same time, would you want to know about it? And you pause for your effect, and then you tell the audience, of course you would. That's why you're here, right? However you lead with that, right? And then what are you getting out of it? Today, I'm going to lead a presentation for you, and I'm going to share with you three ways to build influence. You're going to position yourself as the thought leader in your industry by A, B, and C. B, you're going to spark transformation, which is really personal growth, right? C, or the third, I'm going to show you a way that you can do this in under 48 hours, right? How to build that authority. How are you going to do that? How are you going to build authority by just using your mic and a camera? So that's the third. You take those three powerful takeaways, and then your close, your ending, your outro should reflect back to the beginning, because you should have seeded that. And the reason for that is just like when you're talking about social media and letting the audience know you're going to get bored saying the same thing. You're going to get bored hearing it. You should be bored. You want to tell the audience. You may have heard it 6,000 billion times, but you want the audience to participate. You got to give them a second. Hey, put a one in the chat. Okay, and then we're moving on to the next thing. Say, hey, I see those ones in the chat. Give me a few ones. I want to give you talk. Say a few other things. Hey, when you put a one in the chat, you're really identifying that you understand that you want to be a leader, you want to be influential, you want to be able to use the social media platforms that are out there. You could do that without paying a big media company, all this PR that goes to page 28 on whatever's website that's not relevant to you. And you're going, yeah, you're putting a one in the chat. Remember, put a one in the chat. So you've said that probably 62 times, right?
Yeah.
Giving them time. Why would they? And then while somebody's typing, they're like, put a one in the chat. Okay, so now I got to move from this screen to that screen. I got to put a one in the chat. I got to come here and I'm putting a one in. Why was I putting a one in the chat again? So take the journey through your audience's mind. Talk to them. Even if people don't put a one in the chat, nobody knows on the recording how many ones were in the chat. Say, hey, I see that. I know that you really value yourself as an industry leader and you are no longer the best kept secret. You can influence your small community of 10 members. How do you do that? We're going to get into that right now. So I know you're with me, so let's move forward. So you want to come back to that and you want to process that and let people kind of process that. That's what you're doing. That's the basic talk. We can get deeper. It's not going to happen in
Love
in this
that.
podcast.
Yeah, you know what? I love that. I think that's you know, for some listeners, this may be small beans, right? But I wish that I had known these things when I started speaking online. Even when I started my podcast, I just didn't know. I didn't know, and you don't know what you don't know, right? But I think those are great points, and I love the breakdown because I think people get lost in what to say. I remember one of my first summits, I could not remember what I had started with. I was that nervous. You can laugh, it's okay. I'm not offended. Um, Everybody has to start somewhere, and I couldn't remember what I had started with to take it back to. And so to close, I just reminded everybody to get the VIP gift, which was fine, you know. It being maybe it was my second time speaking, but just reminding them, hey, get the VIP gift. You'll get, I couldn't even remember what my gift was. I'm like, you'll get my gift. I could see the other speakers, and I'm like, you'll get this person's gift and this person's gift, and it's really worth the $47. But you know what? It's fine. I did it. And that's the biggest thing is we don't want you guys to be afraid or nervous or anxious to get out there and get seen and heard. Understanding that people expect you to be authentic in building relationships, authentic when you show up. Guess what? That means that I might, just like I did a minute ago, wipe my nose during a meeting or during an event, right?
Yes, you're human.
I might scratch my ear and I might say a couple of times or so. I say that one a lot. And that's the thing is it's okay. It builds that authenticity with your audience. They know that this isn't AI sitting here. This is actually me. And we want you to get out there and do that. So come into the Voice Lab. You know what? My gosh, what an amazing opportunity to be able to attend Frank's masterclass. If you don't know about speaking, that's the class you need to be at for sure, right? And then who's the next one that we have coming up? We have uh
We have Frank King coming up.
yep.
We have excuse me, Glenn Freeman. We have Cam Knight. We're working on the dates and times with Cam Knight to set that up. I think even there's Lisa's coming up, so she's got some business that she talks about. So those topics that they're talking about, it's all about not only stage, not only getting paid, but
Right.
you're going to get coaching and you're going to get it from authentic people that have the proof in the pudding. It's something that they've done. It's something that they have beta tested. It's something that they have experience at. And it's not just about stage, it's about your business. So if you're more comfortable about your business, you know how to get on the stage. The other thing I do want to say is that when you're learning to speak, the majority of people I find are not necessarily afraid to speak. Colleen, you do it well. You have brick and mortar businesses, a lot of success. You're great at talking, building community. So maybe it's not as being afraid. Maybe it's the how to. Really simplifying this. This is the stuff that you get to work out in the solutions lab that are going to happen back. I'm bringing that back into the voice lab. And this is where you get to ask those questions. If we keep the strategy simplified, if we keep the strategy simple, we get the format simple, there's a good, way that you can calculate it. It's data proven. Who does what? Why do they do it? So if you start looking at the mindset of not just a speaker, not just a stage host, but also the people in the audience, we can't be afraid of it. If you keep it again, three is simple. Three is a good chunk. Three is a great takeaway in anything that you do. If you keep it that way, then you can work that out, and you'll have chance to come into those workshops and actually do the thing. We're going to bring some other speaker coaches in there, people that teach you about that. And yeah, why are ands and ums not so shameful as they used to be? Because we're not AI. You don't want to and so yourself to death like a 6-year-old girl, right? And then that was really big, and then there was sunshine. And so, you don't want to do that. But you do want to remember that we're human. You do want to remember that it's okay. You don't want to remember that, hey, I'm looking at this screen and I thought I was looking at this camera. I say it because I laugh at myself, and I think it's good to realize that we have come over those. So giving advice when you are asked to give advice, that is the best time to give it, right? hey, it's our podcast. We can give all the advice we want, and you can build your own podcast. You can build your own stage. So if you are that expert and you know better, you truly know better, that's where you want to have your own stage. That's where you want to have your own workshop. Why do you want to build that out? Because you are the expert. You're the know-it-all, right? If you are the know-it-all in the room, then have your own stage, have your own networking event. You could do that. You could even do it in virtual reality. So maybe you have that gift. Maybe people are saying, hey, you talk too much, you give too much advice. I'd be a great teacher because I do know it all. I've got all kinds of videos and PDFs. Where can you use that? Give it in your own membership.
I love that, Nicole, because you know what? There is something about being the top person in a room, any room, it doesn't matter. Because if you're sitting at the ceiling, then you are done growing. You got to get out of that room, go build your own, start at the bottom with it, and build your way up again. And that's the magic of switching rooms, right? So when you feel like you've outgrown it, go do your own. And speaking on that term, I want to say that on Monday morning, let's start again. On Monday morning, Business Foreplay, this upcoming Monday, I have Jenna Anderson, and she is from the maturepreneur world. So she specializes in helping adults, more mature adults, over 55 specifically, to realize that life's not over. You have so much time to build businesses you love, and she helps you through that. And so I'm excited to have her in there. And then I also want to say that I used to say so then, so that very, very often. And I realized when I sat and listened to myself, we've talked about this before, I love to go back and watch replays of things. Just as I did in high school after a basketball game, I was the first one. Everybody's out the door to party. I'm over there at the coach, like, give me the video. I'll bring it back tomorrow for practice, but I want to go home and watch it. And I had to say, give me the video because it was on a VCR tape that had been recorded, right? Everybody else would go party, and I would take that VCR home and go watch the replay and see where there was room for improvement. In doing that with speaking, I realized that inside of me, what I felt when I was saying so or and that, and so I felt like I needed a filler for the quiet. And so getting comfortable with the pause was huge in eliminating that. Just understanding that it's okay to pause. Sometimes it's very powerful to pause. And so that helped me to remove a lot of the filler words.
Yep.
And on that note, Nicole, I think we are about done here today. You guys, we really want you to go from trying to be chosen to be the choice. Please, please join us inside Voice Lab. Let us help you learn and grow this year. Let us help you to show up and shine and share your voice everywhere.
100%. All right, guys, we're going to play that commercial. We're out of here. Have a great weekend. I know we will. I'm going to go hang out on the swing for a minute. Lots of love, you guys. And it's always good. Always glad to be here. Always glad to share, be the expert in the room, the know-it-all. All right. Check out Voice Lab. We'll see you on the other side.
You're showing up. You're posting. You're speaking. You're doing everything they told you would grow your business. So why is it not converting? Because visibility is only half the equation. Getting attention is easy. Turning that attention into clients takes strategy. Voice Lab was built to solve that. This is where front-end visibility meets back-end conversion. You learn how to get on stages, create your own platforms, and use podcasts, summits, and workshops to grow your audience and generate real leads. Then you learn what most people never build. A system that captures those leads, follows up, nurtures relationships, and turns interest into revenue. Email and newsletter strategy that actually gets responses. Workflows, not just more noise. Real connection that leads to real business. Inside Voice Lab, you are not guessing. You're learning the how. You're implementing in real time. You're building a business that works even when you are not constantly chasing attention. Because here's the truth. If you don't have visibility, no one knows you exist. If you don't have systems, nothing converts. Voice Lab gives you both, so you can stop performing for attention and start building momentum that pays you back. If you are ready to grow your authority, expand your reach, and finally turn visibility into income, join Colleen Stubbs and Nicole Borghi in the Voice Lab. Scan the QR